Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to another day. So I thought that we'd just read the scriptures today. Okay, I'll be reading from First John chapter 4. Okay, so let's read from verse 1. It says, "Dear friends, okay, you all do not believe every spirit." That's what it says. Don't believe every spirit. It says, "But test the spirits to see whether they are from God." What does John say? Test the spirits. And let me just be clear. When he says test the spirits, he's not talking about the humans who are speaking, okay? He's talking about test the spirits behind the humans who are speaking and also the spirits who come to you, whether in your dreams or in your visions. Says test the spirits. That's what he says. He says, because, I'm reading from the NIV, it says, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. It is the prophets who carry the spirits. That's why it says, test the spirits of the prophets, or the spirits of anyone who comes to you, talking to you about Jesus. Okay, like myself now, making these videos and talking to you about Jesus and all of that. Test the spirits. Okay, but let's go on, and then we'll come back to that about myself now. He says, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. He says, this is how you can recognize the Spirit of God, the Spirit that is from God. And it's not necessarily speaking about the Spirit of truth now, it's also referring to angels, any other spirit that's from God. He says, every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. Now, I'll need to make this very clear here just so that we understand what he's talking about there, or what he's saying. He's saying that every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. Every spirit that acknowledges that. But you need to be careful here. Why am I saying that? Okay, I'll explain. Now, the reason why he says every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, he's not talking about the fact that Jesus was born in the flesh. I know I've mentioned this in several of our older videos. He's talking about has come back from the dead in the flesh. I just need to make that clear since we're reading it, okay? He's talking about test the spirit. Every spirit that agrees or confesses or says that Jesus has come in the flesh, that spirit is from God. That's what John is saying there. Now, why am I saying that? Or just to make it clear, why I said come back from the dead in the flesh. He's not talking about that Jesus was born into this world in the flesh. No. Yes, we all know and we all agree. Even the Muslims agree that Jesus was born of a virgin, right? Yeah, but they disagree that he died and rose again, he came back in the flesh. That's where you can find this distinction applicable, okay? And that's the main reason why I'm actually clarifying that. He says, every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God. But every spirit, not some, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. Now, like I did say, the Muslims believe that Jesus came into this world in the flesh, right? Yes, but they do not believe that he rose from the dead in the flesh. In fact, they don't even believe he died on the cross. Okay, well, let's not go into that. We're not going to talk about the Quran today. So, what am I trying to say? Now, these words which we speak to you, okay, I don't want you to just take them as we say them. I want you to go study on your own, okay, and come to your own conclusion in truth, okay. Like I always say, I said, each one of us, we must all come to our own conclusion in truth by the Spirit, or we walk in the light of another's revelation. A long time ago, I made up my mind I wasn't going to walk in the light of anybody's revelation, not even Paul, no, any of the apostles. I will follow Jesus and the words of Jesus. So I'm walking in the light of Jesus. So when Jesus says to the Jews that their father Yahweh is the devil, I stick to that. That's where I am. Okay. And when he talks about the Spirit being with you and the world not being able to receive the Spirit, Okay, why? Because it says they did not see the Spirit, and they don't know Him. It says, but we know Him. I stick with that. So for me personally, my my approach to the books, okay, or my gospel, okay, is that Jesus came, gave us an understanding, gave us knowledge of that which we cannot see. And it starts with the very basic being that there is a ghost with us, okay? There is a spirit with us, and that is the spirit of truth, who is meant to lead us into all truth, okay? That we have a father and we have a mother, okay? And together these two are one, okay? So when it says our God is one, that is our God, male and female, father and mother, okay? Now they have a son, so you can see in Isaiah 9 it says to us, father, mother, to us a child is born, to us a son has been given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders. So you find it also written where the Father says in Psalm 110, he says, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Okay? Now that's the Father saying, why? Because the mother is on earth, giving birth to us. Okay? That's why Jesus says in John chapter 3 that flesh gives birth to flesh. Our parents give birth to us, flesh giving birth to flesh. It says, but the spirit, that spirit he refers is the mother. The spirit gives birth to spirit. That's who we've become in Christ. Okay. Now, this is the gospel that we teach here. You may not hear it any other place, and we do not really care whether you hear it from with whatever preacher and all of that. Like I said, I really do not care. Okay. These things we do, these words we preach, it's because we've been asked to do it. That's why we do it. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is this: you must reach your own conclusion in truth by the Spirit, okay, by the Spirit of truth, or you walk in the light of another's revelation. So, when I come here and I say that after his ascension to heaven, Jesus became a priest after the order of the quote unquote God, Melchizedek, who is the quote unquote priest of the Most High God. Okay, good. I'll just mention this. Now, in all my studies, okay, I first came across the person of Melchizedek in 2004. Okay, and I published my first book in 2008, which was titled The Person of Melchizedek. Now, I first came across that in 2004. And in all of that, I did struggle with myself, as in, Melchizedek is without beginning of days nor end of life. That's also a God. So that's why the Father is called the Most High God. Why? Because He's the highest God. Meaning that there are other gods that the Father is higher than. That's what it simply means. Okay. Whether the church likes it or not, I do not care. And whatever the preachers want to preach, that's their business. We don't care. We're just doing our own thing here. Okay. So I came across that and I studied and I struggled with it for a while in that. And Jesus has become a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? Anyway, let's leave that. I don't want to go into it because we're going to go, on a different tangent. And that's not why I'm making this video. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is this. See, you must reach your own conclusion in truth. Okay? Or walk in the light of another's revelation. And whatever it is you arrive at, it doesn't matter. Why? We are all walking. Like Paul says, he says, but we all with open faces, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord. He says, we are changed into the same image, okay, by the Spirit of the Lord. It's like I like to see, like when it says beholding as in a glass, it's not talking about a mirror, like some translations put it. It's talking about like looking into a crystal ball, okay? We are changed into the same image, that which we see, that's what we become. What I have seen, okay, is that in Christ, we have become priests after the order of the God Melchizedek. And that's what Jesus has become in heaven today. He's become a priest after the order of Melchizedek, which is written, and I'm glad I didn't write it. My point is this, see, these days I've noticed that it's become fashionable talking about the gospel and talking about Jesus and all of that. Like, we find it everywhere. When I see those videos, I smile. You know why I smile? Because majority of these people who do these things, they have no idea about what they are doing. And when I say they have no idea, what I mean is this. It's easy. Anyone can pick up the books and read and talk whatever nonsense they want to talk about. Anybody can do that, okay? Do you have a conscious awareness of the spirits that is present with the unseen ghosts, the unseen spirits of truth that is present with you? Do you have that awareness? Have you been able to see things to come before they happen? Now, these are personal questions, okay? That each one of us, each individual will go and, observe themselves and study themselves and come to their own conclusions whether or not they've been able to. Why? Because as you start to experience these things, you start to experience growth spiritually. But it depends on you anyway. Yeah. We can't force anybody and we don't really care. Yeah. We're only sharing these things just to guide you. Whoever it is that has been called to understand the truth and watches us and understands the things we'll say will know the truth and will experience what we're talking about. So basically, what I'm trying to say in this video I'm making is this. Reach your own conclusion in truth. Okay. These words which we teach is just we're like boards, okay, like billboards, just to direct you and to guide you in the direction that you should go. That's just it. I'm not gonna be like Paul and say follow after me as I follow after Christ. No, I don't even follow after Paul and I don't even care about Paul. That's truth. Jesus is my high priest. That's all. And it's Jesus I know. That's truth of the matter. So I'm not going to tell you to follow after me as I follow after Christ. No. I'm pointing you to Christ. I'm pointing you to Jesus. I'm pointing you to, quote unquote, the Jesus that you've not been taught before. The Jesus who is high priest in heaven. The Jesus who rose from the dead and became a priest in heaven after the order of the God Melchizedek. That's the Jesus that I am pointing you to. And I'm not going to tell you to follow after me as I follow after him. No. Study, reach your own conclusion in truth. That's all, nothing more. If you're gonna, you see that, like I keep saying, you see that you study and reach your own conclusion in truth by the Spirit, or you walk in the light of another's revelation. I don't even want anyone to walk in the light of the revelation that we teach. No, I want you to study and reach your own conclusion in truth. And I'm making this video for a reason. So whoever it is, you know yourself, whoever it is, okay, and you know it applies to you, this video is for you. Reach your own conclusion in truth. I'm not going to point you. I'm not going to tell you to follow after me, but I'll point you where I am walking. That's truth of the matter. So I thought I'd make this short video anyway, and that's it. So you guys, I'll leave you guys and ciao. Bye bye then.